You ready to have some fun? Let's do it.
Hey, we are crawling on all fours, and today I'm going to talk again about my Vanquish Products VRD straight axle builder's kit. It's a 1/10 scale rock crawler, and I've had so much fun building this custom kit. I've already shown you a video on the chassis itself. If you haven't seen that video, check out the link in the description below. In this video, I'm going to be talking about just the body. Full disclosure, this is not a how-to video of how to paint, how to rust, how to patina your body. I'll probably do that in a different video. I'm simply talking about how I put the different elements together to make this truck look vintage and very well used. This body is an RC4-wheel drive 1982 Toyota body style. It's also known as the Mojave II. While you still have to make some customization to really make it work, turns out to be a really good chassis for this truck. Like I said, this is not a how-to video, but I'm really excited to show you the different elements that I put into this truck to make it my own.
In other words, anything that you're willing to practice, you can do.
And that's what's great about this hobby, is that you can customize these trucks left and right and up and down to the nth degree. And I think the results came out fantastic. I hope you think so too. Thanks again for watching this video and supporting my channel. It would really help out the algorithm if you gave us a like, if you shared this with a friend. Certainly subscribe for more content like this in the future. Stick with us as we go crawling on all fours. That is such an attractive truck. I've had this body for quite a while, and I finally decided to paint it, and it took me a while to really come up with a paint scheme. I blistered the paint so that I could get more texture out of it, and I added some patina and some rust, just some orange paint. I've also sanded down some spots because I used a base coat of a bronze color. So taking down the blue reveals that base coat, which gives it a little bit of an older rusty look as well. The primary paints I used were just your general everyday household brands like Rust-Oleum. This is a flat gray primer. A lot of paints today include both the primer and the paint in one can, but I wanted to have something that provided a general base coat that not only the top coat paint would adhere to very, very well, but if I was using accent colors like these to make the rust spots and accents around the body, I wanted these to be able to adhere nicely as well. Now, the base coat I used on this body was a Krylon Fusion metallic brass color, and it gave it a real nice deep color, as you can see here. Unfortunately, I ran out, and I tried to find some more spray cans of this, but I can't find any. Either it's discontinued, or maybe they just haven't been producing it anymore. Yeah, I'm beginning to think that it has been discontinued. But anyway, I think this is a great deep color. It looks really good as a base coat because it's dark enough, it's flat enough, and it has enough texture that when you sand your paint down and reveal that base coat, it's not too bright, it's not too dark, it has a little bit of character to it. And I think it came out really, really well. And my final top coat was a satin French blue, which is kind of a light blue. I thought it was a great color for a truck like this to give it a vintage look, a vintage appearance. It kind of gave it an oxidized look, so I didn't want any sort of gloss finish or anything that would create a lot of shine and luster. In order to achieve the coloring of the rust as well as the kind of yellowing and oxidizing patina on the body, I used a combination of these accent paints. These are generally airbrush paints, so they're pretty concentrated, and what I do is I thin them out using a water-based reducer. It provides a great medium to reduce paint as well as cleaning your brush. This is a yellow ochre, and it's a very common color used when blending to make earthy tones. Now, burnt umber has more of a reddish, brownish tone, but it's pretty dark, so you can use the two colors like this to create a nice brownish color, lighter brown color. This is just a simple jet black. I also go into the rusty areas and I start to fill those in with this cadmium orange. This is an acrylic, so it's kind of like a paste basically. It looks really good, goes on nice and thick, and you can also thin it out with some jet black or burnt umber to give it a little bit more of a darker orange color. I think it comes out really, really good, and I can get a number of different shades and hues depending on how I blend it and where I'm applying the color. Now, the way that I made these dents here, I used a torch. Here's the deal. Take every precaution necessary. Do not burn yourself. Do not injure yourself. Do not cause any damage to your environment. This is my public service announcement, by the way. I stayed about roughly 6 inches away from the body. It'll start to blister that paint and gives you this little rigid texture, basically. And I did that, just all across the body. So if I stay about 6 inches or 7 inches away, even 8 inches, all I'm trying to do is just warm up the plastic so that I can come back with a rock. Once the body is warm, I will just apply pressure with the rock. And again, I'll use 2 different rocks depending on how big or small I want to get the dents. But that presses into the body and then depresses and creates the dent. But again, don't do anything stupid when you're dealing with fire. Be smart, take every precaution necessary. For the rear taillights and some of the side markers and corner markers, I used transparent orange or clear orange. This one is from Tamiya. You can use, there's lots of different brands that offer paints like this. And then I also used this Createx transparent. This is a little bit thicker than your typical Tamiya transparent colors. It's got a little bit more, it's a little bit more translucent than it is fully transparent. The cab itself has 2 pieces, and so I wanted to fill in the gaps that were left over from the back panel and the cab itself. And I used this Bondo. This is just a glazing and spot putty, but I filled that in and I sanded it down, and I would do that over a process of like 3 or 4 different times so that when I painted over it, it looked like it was just a seamless surface. I went with the front bumper. Now, a lot of guys will take the front bumper and they'll just cut it off and they'll put their own custom bumper on. I wanted this to look pretty scale though, and I wanted the grille to be nice and clean, so I just gave that a fresh spray, and I didn't want to distress that at all. So it kind of looks like, hey, I've got a brand new front bumper and a front grille, but the rest of my body is all distressed and dented and rusted. I also ended up painting the inside of the body. I just did a dark gray. It's actually, I think it's black, but it's just a very like matte finish, so it looks more like a dark charcoal. So when the truck is being filmed and I'm looking at an angle, I'm not going to see the light beige color on the bottom side of that body, which was the original color, just the stock color basically right out of the box. If you'd like to see this truck in action, I've got some running footage at the end of this video. Just click on the link to my VRD playlist. I got this little toolbox from Hobby Lobby and went to the dollhouse section actually. So this is a wooden box with actual metal little tools there, little scale tools. And I simply just added some distressing to the box, added a little bit of paint, did some sanding, roughed it up a little bit, and yeah, it gives it a very realistic look. I painted some of the handles on the tools. A lot of them were already red, but I wanted a little bit of color variation, so I added a little bit of yellow, some green, and these are glued down, so they're not going anywhere. I also found these little scale aluminum cans, and yes, these are actual aluminum cans. I thought they were plastic at first, but then I went to dent them, give it kind of a simple natural look there, like you're crunching a can, and they actually crunched. So no heating required. So I think that was a great little touch. And they're super cheap too. So I think this whole box with the tools was like maybe $5 or $6, if that, maybe like $4. And I think it was like $1.50 or $2 for a pack of 6 of these cans. Now that is why I had the solo cup and the soda can on the actual transmission cap. So that's right on top of the transmission. You can see that I had to make some cuts in the interior I'll pull that off and show you. I was cringing to the nth degree because I did not want to cut this interior. So I had to cut a little channel there and cut an opening in the center console, as well as cut out the front to give me more clearance for the front gear, for the main drive gear, as well as the frame. So you can see I've cut some notches there, you know, along the footwells, and that gives me space for the frame itself. So when this goes back on, it sits just right and gives me clearance.
We have clearance, Clarence.
I did have to cut the bed. I also cringed on that because I did not want to make any cuts. You know, with this great paint job and texture and detail, I didn't want to destroy that. But there was no other way aside from doing like a cantilever type shock design, which I just didn't want to do. So I wanted to do something more universal that I could swap out and tune and customize myself. So anyway, this is a common practice in having to cut the bed so that you can allow the shock towers to poke through and get clearance. So my clearance was pretty tight, and I got the shocks through without hitting the sides there, so no problems on installation. Painted and distressed the seats, as well as that little center armrest. I added, you can see the shifter there, or excuse me, not the shifter, but the turn signal shaft. That's actually just a regular metal nail, and I painted it black and drilled a small little hole in the steering column, and it looks just like a little turn stalk. So I love the character that it gives that as well. This interior is not a stock Mojave II interior. It's not a 1982 Toyota pickup interior. This is actually an 85 to be very specific, or an 87 extra cab, and off of the RC4 drive extra cab body. It just happens to fit just perfectly. So these seats, the headrests are like right up against the glass. So I really enjoy talking about this interior. I found these little scale newspapers, got some mail, some postcards, as well as some packages from we'll just say from Amazon or eBay in this case, and my little Bible here. Found a little pack of two, one in white, one in black. Added a little bit of color to that. Added a little bit of a RC4 drive decal, and some more paint and some trim around the windows there. These are the RC4 drive side mirrors. They just kind of give an effect of a mirror, but they're made of rubber, which is really cool because you can, you can kind of rough them up a little bit and they're not going to break off. The base, I ended up using some shoe glue, and it's strong enough, and it also is safe for paint, so it's not going to eat away at the paint. You can kind of see some of the residue there. Yeah, so it does not eat away at the paint, but gives a really, really good adhesion, and this rubber is not moving. It's not going anywhere. So I don't have to worry about the base like spinning or kind of getting out of position there. I'm very happy with this truck. It took me a long time to put this together. Well, just to get it complete with the paint and everything else, and just all the details, all the small parts that I wanted on this truck. But again, that is the beauty of putting a kit like this together, is that you can customize this to the nth degree and make it exactly how you want. All right, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some inspiration to get a truck like this of your own, to make it special in your collection. Help make the algorithm work for me. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, share with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, keep crawling.